When a game is released onto the world, people can look back fondly while thinking of their sole experience with the game. Games of yesteryear like The Legend of Zelda or Crash Bandicoot would be released once and that was it. The full game is at your fingertips at one price. No updates, no DLC, nothing. When the internet and gaming became more understood and universally accepted, games would get released in stages. Video games like RuneScape would lure you in with its MMORPG aspects, and from there, update as time went on. Years later, the game would almost become recognizable versus where it was at years ago. And to some extent, the same can even be said for Minecraft. Since Minecraft's inception, a lot of updates have been grand, while others have been more, well, they've had a distinct lack of grandness. That's not to say that some of these updates weren't good or weren't bad, but they were just forgettable. When the game you've played for years has released literally hundreds of updates or patches to the game, it's kind of understandable that some updates would maybe go under your nostalgia radar. In this video, we're going to talk about just that. The Minecraft updates that have gone under your nose, Minecraft's most forgettable updates. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get this one out of the way here. Forgettable does not mean bad. It simply doesn't. There are going to be some updates on this list that you'll probably deem as positive things for Minecraft. However, forgettable just means forgettable. In the grand scheme of things, a lot of these updates didn't have the standing power to be their own thing, and realistically, probably should have been mashed together with another update or rethought entirely. Now that you know that forgettable doesn't necessarily equal trash, I think we can get started. Starting off this list, we're gonna go all the way back to the beta days of Minecraft. How far back though? Well, ironically, the very first day of Minecraft beta. Loading up the beta version of the game, you'll quickly be prompted with a screen stating finally beta. And at the time, yeah, it was finally beta. We were excited to see the game get out of its alpha stages and work its way up to a more official release. Beta to players meant that the game could be taken more seriously by the community, by Notch, and his team as a whole. It was an exciting advancement, although in this update, there was no advancement, literally none. Quite literally, only 4 things were added into the game with this update. 1, the finally beta splash. 2, a working server-side inventory and inventory tooltips. 3, capes for Mojang employees. And 4, finally, Deadmau5's skin, only to be used by Deadmau5. It was a weird update. Like, why make it beta if the only things that you're adding can't be touched by the players or even be realized aside from tooltips? It just seemed a bit lackluster at the time. In the grand scheme of things, it's certainly forgettable. And while we're at it, why not tack beta 1.1 onto the list as well, because that one was equally as forgettable. If I asked you the question of when horses were released in Minecraft, when would you say? 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 2012, 2013, 2014? Well, if you guessed 1.6 and 2013, you'd be right, but only kind of. In reality, 1.6.1 was the first actual release of 1.6, only being predated by pre-releases, but that's not why this update was forgettable. Off the top of your head, what comes alongside horses besides the obvious things? Clearly, hay bales and leads don't count. In 1.6.1, hay bales, leads, horse armor, name tags, carpets, hardened clay, stained clay, block of coal, horses, donkeys, mules, and resource packs were added into Minecraft. Aside from resource packs, 1.6.1 didn't really add a lot, especially when you compare them to the updates that we're getting today. In total, it added about 11 things, but They were things we either already had in the form of mods or just something for horses, being released right on the cusp of the 1.5 Redstone update that added so much into the game. Simply adding horses didn't seem all that crazy. We were excited to have a new mountable mob, of course. Was it the best update in the entire world though? Well, it's on this list for a reason, though it was a good update. Looking back, it doesn't feel like resource packs were all that old, but obviously they are. I can't deny the staying power of what they've accomplished in comparison to just texture packs, but because of the fact that they could have been in any other update, this one was just kinda forgettable. On November 13th, 2013, Minecraft and Mojang's Dinnerbone took to Twitter and put out a fairly interesting tweet stating, "If you restart Minecraft, it'll become a whole bunch more awesome thanks for C418's latest works." People quickly took to the internet and couldn't find that Minecraft had even been updated. The reason why? It was a stealth update. In the past, on occasion, Mojang has released updates without even really updating that version of Minecraft, because for sounds, they actually don't have to. When it comes to Minecraft and sounds, every time Minecraft is launched, it pulls Mojang servers for a list of all the sounds and then downloads them. Being added under 1.7.2's The Update That Changed the World, nearly a month after its initial release, new music flooded into Minecraft. A total of 17 songs were added into the game, 4 that would play on the main menu, 6 that would play in creative mode, 4 that would play in the nether, 1 that would play in the end, and 1 that plays during the credits, and 1 that plays during the Ender Dragon fight as well. 16 out of those 17 songs came from C418's previously released album Minecraft Volume Beta, as opposed to Minecraft Volume Alpha. People who loaded up the game and didn't realize that they had even downloaded an update were confused on where the music came from, but didn't know because there wasn't an update number. Again, this update wasn't forgettable because it was bad or anything, but rather because there was no update number. People just genuinely had no idea where all of this came from, and honestly, just wondered if it had been there longer than maybe they had even realized. And potentially, the most controversial item that I'm gonna have on this list, Minecraft 1.12. If you're scratching your head and wondering why 1.12 is on this list, you're probably thinking it's one of the newer updates. How is that one unforgettable? Well, let's take a few seconds to think on this. On November 14th, 2016, 1.11 was released to the world. On June 7th, 2017, 1.12 followed. 29 weeks, 6 months, 24 days, over half a year. 1.12 took an extremely long time to come out for an update, nearly 7 months. What we got was a little more lackluster than we would have hoped for. Sure, we got things like Concrete, Glazed Terracotta, The Knowledge Book, Illusioners, Parrots, and more, but there wasn't a ton in that update. There were some command format changes, advancements were added, but honestly, for how long this update took, and on the surface, the game only looked more vibrant, but it didn't feel too much different. Wool could have more or less done the same job as Concrete, just with a texture and a little bit of physics changes, and the Parrot were just a fun addition. Heck, Illusioners don't even actually spawn in-game. They're unused, the coolest mob from this update, and probably the entire game isn't even actually in the game. You have to spawn it in with a command. It's unfortunate too, because adding this mob to the actual game would have probably made it a little less forgettable. So for the last and definitely most forgettable item on this list, Minecraft Release 1.10. Seriously, polar bears. It's not that 1.10 was a bad update. There was a lot of good things that came out with this update, and it also came out pretty quickly after 1.9, but by this point in Minecraft's development history, the updates were already getting pretty grand. 1.7's update that changed the world, 1.8, 1.9's bountiful update which took like a year to come out, and so on. 1.10 just seemed like a bit of an odd choice, and when I think back to the most forgettable mobs in Minecraft, polar bears go right to the top of the list. Again, it's not a bad update, but it's definitely a forgettable one. So what do you think? Do you think that these were some of the most forgettable updates in Minecraft, or do you have any that I didn't wind up thinking about, or maybe you just disagree with me outright? Let me know in the comments section down below. But other than that, that just about does it for me for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, because it would really help out myself and Michaelmcchill, who co-wrote and edited this video, the channel and the video quite a lot. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.